semi-final of the Tour Championship, perfectly poised at the halfway stage.
All square here in Manchester between Gary Wilson and Ronnie O'Sullivan, leaving a fantastic conclusion ahead of us tonight. Taking you through the first 4 frames in the commentary box are Stephen Hendry and Phil Yates. But first, to introduce the players, here's our MC, Phil Seymour.
Thanks, Jill. Good evening and a very warm welcome to the day of the first semi-final here at the Johnson's Paint Tour Championship. We're locked up at 4 frames all in a race to 10, and this crowd are already here in Manchester! It's time now to welcome your semi-finalists. We begin with this season's Scottish and Welsh Open champion. He's the Tyneside Terror, Gary Wilson! Opponent, the record-breaking 8-time Masters and UK champion and 7-time champion of the world, the Rocket's Ronnie O'Sullivan.
This is a special occasion. And for Gary Wilson, yes, he's been in a Crucible semi-final. Yes, he's won 3 world ranking titles. But this, one of the most important, high-profile sessions of his life.
Settle down now, please. Thank you.
Yeah, you
the
can hear
9th frame.
The shouts
Gary Wilson
from the crowd. That I think. Well, it seems like 99% of this crowd want an O'Sullivan victory. So that's what Gary's got to blank out and even use it as a bit of motivation tonight against this man at the table. So important when you're playing Ronnie O'Sullivan in a double session match to stay with him after the first session. That's exactly what Gary's done. So start again tonight. But I agree with you, Phil. This is probably the biggest occasions of his career. No doubt about it. If he wants to go to the next level in the game, you know, he's won these 3 home nations tournaments. If he wants to step up and go to the next level, win these big events, he's got to cope with this atmosphere and produce his best snooker. For Ronnie O'Sullivan, this is just another day at the office.
Yeah, trying to reach what would be his 64th ranking tournament final. But this afternoon, Wilson showed a lot of psychological strength after that contentious decision in the 6th frame. Many other players might have collapsed. Not him. He thrived. Put some fire in the belly.
Yeah, a decent run of the ball will help. That was a nice flick. It's with the cue ball behind yellow and brown on a baulk cushion. I shouldn't see how this session starts tonight. First 2 frames this afternoon were a bit scrappy.
Didn't see anything in O'Sullivan's play this afternoon that worried me, with one notable exception. On 30 in the last frame of the opening session, he took on a very risky and some would say ill-advised double. Apart from that, he was the epitome of discipline And he needs to be again.
Already. He's 2-3 safety shots, Gary Wilson, where he could have easily have left Ronnie with pots, and he's not done. Nice run of the ball so far. That safety shot was obviously overhit, the cue ball coming in and out of bulk. If Ronnie O'Sullivan's playing the thin edge of the red and the left cushion, that's such a difficult shot. It's not very often you see Ronnie O'Sullivan play a containing safety shot. It was decided there was no path back to bulk. Left a half a chance to the left middle for Gary Wilson. This will be an interesting shot choice. So easy to lay the snooker, but the yellow is on to right middle. It's not easy. And right in the middle of the pocket. You would expect, or I expect Ronnie to make a start tonight than he did in the afternoon. This is obviously the session to win the match.
4.
He was a bit slow at the blocks this afternoon.
$11.
Must say, Ronnie O'Sullivan's been a professional for 32 years now. He's seen venues come and go. Rarely is a new addition as good as this one. When we went to Alexandra Palace for the first time, you just knew it was going to be a cut above, and that's the same with Manchester Central. We've only been here for a week, but it's plainly obvious
17.
this place is simply ideal for snooker. And the good folk of Manchester, they made this tournament.
18. $24. 25.
You've played all over the world, Steve, and I think you'll agree this venue fits snooker like a glove.
32.
Yeah, it's been fabulous all week, isn't it? Even the mixed
33.
doubles at the weekend. The crowds have been fantastic. Well, that's the shot of the break so far. Beautiful.
40.
What an explosive
Ronnie
kick.
O'Sullivan, 40.
Sean Murphy suffered one
There's a big mark on the red.
a number of years ago, and it went viral. That was, I think, equally extraordinary.
Yeah, that was horrible. But it's bad luck, obviously, but the sympathy I've got from him is tinged by the fact that he's still using the old chalk that no one else uses. The new chalk, you just don't get kicks. Ronnie is persistent with the old triangle chalk. And basically the whole rest of the tour basically know that it's no good. So it's a risk that he takes, but that's still, you have to say, very unfortunate. Just when he looked like he was going to take the frame.
It was just a walloping kick.
The one thing about Ronnie, though, you'll never ever
8.
hear him moaning about it. He just gets on with it.
9.
But a little early psychological blow Gary Wilson could deal here to his opponent. Somehow get a counter attack and win the frame at this visit.
And Gary's got the kind of personality you'd take great pleasure
15.
in metaphorically putting the boot in.
The two hurdles are there, plain to see. One red on either side cushion.
$23. $30. 31. 38. 39.
Well, he's dropped into a lovely rhythm here, Gary Wilson, in this break. Playing at a really nice pace. Really confident pace. So the last of the easy reds. Now is where the work starts.
46.
Going to win the frame. Right here.
$47.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The last thing he wanted was to be straight on the red
52.
there. This is not easy. These pockets are very tight down the cush.
53.
Wilson retains his 100% record, potting with the rest today.
Well, a little shake of the head tells me it's maybe not a natural angle, just a pop. That means the cue ball will automatically can in the red. Yeah, needed some sort of manipulation of the cue ball to make the cannon.
60.
Mark Williams spotted the last red. Quite similar to this during his miraculous clearance against Tom Ford. Into a different pocket, but a very similar kind of pot. They are not easy at all. Hence the refusal.
Cheers. Gary Wilson, 60.
A very impressive visit to the table, though, from Gary Wilson. Important that he answered back with a fine break of his own in this frame.
And now from here, the first frame of the evening should be his. Blue and yellow will get the job done.
Six. 8. 11.
Wilson back in front for the first time since 2-1.
15.
And while he's played nicely in this frame, you have to say it revolved around that physics-defying kick.
20. 26.
Gary Wilson, a double ranking event winner this season, is not succumbing to the aura of the Rocket. Wilson leads 5-4. You know, shocks occur in every sport. This would be a big one. Before a ball was struck today, Gary 4-1
Thank
against.
you, frame 10.
To win this match,
Ronnie
Ronnie
O'Sullivan
O'Sullivan
to break.
considered by the bookmakers a 6-1 on certainty. That is not the case now.
I think I hate that shot more than any other shot in snooker. I think Gary Wilson's just played the dump shot, as we call it. Just a, I know it's a containing shot, but it's so often leads to awkward frames. Fortunately, Ronnie was able to get the cue ball back into baulk. And not the best shot. Giving his opponent a look at a red to right corner. Which I'm absolutely shocked. After the frame he's just played, why is he not taking the red onto right corner? Strange shot choice for me. I can only think he didn't fancy playing it with left-hand side, because he would have had to do that to avoid contact in other reds. He obviously didn't fancy it. Wow. That's an unforced error.
Gary Wilson has already displayed a lot of heart, a lot of grit to get this far in the tournament. Beating Mark Selby 10-8 and then Zhang Anda by the same score. He went 8-7 down to Zhang in very disappointing circumstances.
6.
On a break of 60, he missed a really simple red, needing only the blue in addition. Anda cleared up with 55, and you thought, well, maybe Wilson's goose is cooked. Far from it. He played 3 really good frames from there on in to prevail. And again today at 4-2, you thought the match was slipping away. But he's proving stubborn.
Twelve. $13.
That kick that Ronnie O'Sullivan got in the first frame is, well, it's proven already to be a huge moment at the start of the second session, because you'd have had to have expected that Ronnie would go on and win the frame. He was right in amongst the balls. There's no reason to think otherwise. But the change in the match now is incredible. Gary Wilson's flying.
20.
Overhit that one though. Played for the blue. Now got a bit more work to do with the cue ball. Not sure if he can even screw directly into the main bunch from the yellow here. That's an option. Lots of cue power required here. Here we go. How's your luck? Well, plenty of luck, but all bad, unfortunately.
22. Gary Wilson, 22.
Ronnie come around to look as Gary left a plant to left corner. Those 4 reds around the pink spot. No, they're not available. protection from the yellow. A little bit fortunate.
Who could begrudge him that, though, after what happened in the first frame?
One. Bramble. Gary Wilson.
Ronnie can get through to this red to left corner. I'm not sure where they can avoid the cue ball going into other reds, though. No, couldn't, so had to get the pot. I thought it was a very good pot.
Somewhat awkward queuing on the blue. That's why the green is being looked at again.
Four.
Cast your minds back, snooker fans, to January in the World Grand Prix. Ronnie O'Sullivan beat Gary Wilson 5-1, and he had a dream run in that match, or more precisely, Wilson had a nightmare run.
Ronnie
Thankfully
O'Sullivan,
for
5.
Wilson on this occasion, the O'Sullivan fluke did not lead to a frame-winning contribution.
One. Foul. A miss. Gary Wilson 1. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Free ball.
Wow, what an error. Gary Wilson will be relieved that that, as I say, glaring error not to reach the brown in anything, except, I suppose, now being glued to the baulk cushion. This red that is going to come thin off the right-hand side of it as we look. Probably one of the most difficult safety shots in snooker. Hitting across the object ball, full length of the table from tight under the baulk cushion. And he's going to the red in the middle of the table. Instead, it's a little bit easier shot. That's red. It's the right middle for Ronnie, but the colours are not ideal at all.
One.
Not a single colour where it should be.
Yeah, just a few signs of frustration in Ronnie Sullivan's body language at the moment. I say he was in full flow until he got that kick in the first frame. Since then, it seems to have, along with his opponent's play, just got to him a little bit. That's rescued the situation really well. That pot in the blue, getting that back on its spot.
These days, Stephen, lots of players display ambidextrous skills, but there's none better than O'Sullivan.
Seven. Twelve. 13.
If he's got an angle, he may be tempted to play topspin off the right cushion, lots of right-hand side. A cannon into black, green and red. Decided against it. Maybe just didn't have enough angle. Thought it was on the shot.
18.
This cue ball needs to run.
19.
That is no good there. That's a very rare occurrence. Ronnie Sullivan finished short in the blue. Can he leave himself some sort of pot? He's done well, really, to get the cue ball there.
24.
For the second time in the break, O'Sullivan's left-handed abilities coming to the fore, and look where the cue ball is, this time on the correct side of the blue.
No, surely it's the cannon into, say, a red, black and green here. Oh, that was a big target. Still on this red, though. So can he get an
30.
angle again on the blue to go for the cannon a second time?
31.
It's just run a bit far. It's still on the cannon. Just means you've got to really nip the cue ball a bit more.
It was asking an awful lot, even for a genius. He likes that pocket.
$37.
Well, I didn't see any
39.
apology after that red, so maybe it was a kind of speculative pot come safety. Whatever.
42.
On this second frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 42.
The break ends at 42.
He's got a light on the front.
His lead is 27. So Wilson needs 2 snookers, but if he pots the brown, he'll only need 1 on the blue.
4.
Yeah, I suppose a little bit premature of me to say Ronnie's won the frame. It'll be decent effort for Gary Wilson to get the snooker.
9.
We normally say to get the 6-point foul, you probably have to lay about at least half a dozen snookers to get one that finally brings the foul from your opponent.
Gary Wilson, 9.
Of course, with the blue still on the table, extra ball means supposedly a better chance of snookers, but he could only have forced a respotted black with a 5-point penalty, whereas if he gets a 6-point penalty, Wilson could plunder the frame outright.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
Surely that's
Frame conceded, frame
Indeed
Ronnie
it
O'Sullivan.
is. There we saw a Ronnie razzle-dazzle. 42 break. Very entertaining. 5-all.
Hey, Gary.
Off we go again for frame 11.
The 11th frame. Gary Wilson to break.
You know, this season's been golden for Ronnie O'Sullivan, even by his standards. 5 big tournaments won. He's played 47 matches on tour and won 40 of them. If that record is going to be enhanced, he'll need to mind his P's and Q's from here on in. seasoned observers of Ronnie O'Sullivan will know when he has those short spells in matches where the mask of discipline slips a little. It was certainly the case at points in frame 10, but I think now he's won it and he's back on level terms. The match play head will be back on.
So often in these long matches, Ronnie will have a burst where he'll kind of just go into overdrive and win 3, 4, 5 frames in the blink of an eye. Still yet to happen. Ronnie went back to his chair, shaking his head. He's smiling. I think he's just completely forgot about this plant that he's left Gary Wilson. This is a gift. Where's the cue ball going to end up though? Not great. I think the pink is on to left middle. Blue's a possibility. He's looking at the black. Oh, this is a brave shot, this pink. It's the sort of shot I feel if you turn down, it sends a little message to your opponent.
That's in his top 5 shots of the match for me. We've got Golf's Masters at Augusta next week, and that's the equivalent of one of those knee-knocking 5-footers downhill with lots of break for par. You don't want to take them on, but you know you have to knock it in, and when you do, it makes you feel good.
Seven. Eight. Ten.
It's happened a lot today in this match where the colours have been tied up. A lot of the frames have not been open. In this case, it's the 2 highest value colours, pink and black, out of commission.
11. $16. 17. $22.
As Stephen explained, with the colours tied up, had to do something with the cue ball there, and when you've got bridging like this, it's a real stretch.
Sure.
Well, this red will possibly bring the black into play. It's quite an aggressive shot choice.
Okay. Gary Wilson, 22.
Not sure if Ronnie's got the angle on this red to stun the cue ball round the back of the black for it into the same pocket. There is room to get the cue ball underneath the black. And I played the direct screw and it's worked out nicely. I don't think he played the cannon off that red, but he's on the black. Not easy bridging. Nope, not there. Oh, it is there. How's that gone in? That's what I was just about to say. He doesn't want to kick here, like the other shot, bridging over the spider.
The black is clearly a fan of Ronnie O'Sullivan, because I'm astounded that fell. That caught the near jaw. Okay, at pocket weight, but even then.
Ah, that's as poor a shot as Ronnie's played all week. Blue may still be potable, but the cue ball should have been nowhere near there. Into the pink and two reds here.
Foul.
Well,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 9.
Foul.
Gary Wilson, 5.
is it for a push?
Oh, no, no, I knew he was going for the blue. The sound and the reaction, that's it. I think it was a push. Push through it.
I'm not sure what that, Phil. Was that a push shot?
Well, this is very sporting from Gary Wilson, first off.
No.
That looked absolutely fine.
Well, it didn't look or sound fine to me, so no, Gary, no. I'm not.
We should be able to check on the main table.
With that one, I'm not, because you need sound as well, so no.
Every credit to Gary Wilson there, regardless of the decision. It was a sporting thing to do. He asked Paul Collier if he could check that. Paul refused. You might have heard Paul Collier say he called push because of the sound and B, the reaction. I don't know, and I'm not copping out either. What I will say is that Ronnie O'Sullivan clearly was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the referee's got a closer view of it than us, and he can not only see the shot, he can hear the shot, the connection. It was quite an acute angle to play a push, and that's clearly seems to have knocked Ronnie off a little bit. The last 2 pot attempts have been not close at all.
These controversial push shot decisions seem to follow Gary Wilson around in his first match in defence of the Scottish Open, in the vital portion of the match against Elliot Slessor. Slessor was convinced that Wilson had played a push. Wilson said no and ended up winning the match. The one good thing about that little incident was that it's not going to have a great material effect on this frame. Although, if O'Sullivan had remained in, he might have stayed in.
One. Three. Four.
Where the balls are, every pot that Wilson can complete here will strengthen his hand.
Six.
Well, it could have been worse. He has got pots on. This red to right corner. Oh, he's to left. Trusting a little bit with the cue ball here.
Seven.
Decent effort. That's very tight. I mean, you could risk playing it with a touch of right-hand side. Try and square up the angle. Very dangerous shot to play. That's a great shot. Very good.
$14. Gary Wilson, 14.
A good visit that ended with a not so good shot.
One.
It's amazing how first frames of sessions can dictate how the rest of it goes. Go back
6.
again to that kick that Ronnie got when he looked certain to win the first frame in one visit. This night could have taken a whole different
7.
turn. Now he's struggling a bit, especially with the cue ball, which is very unusual for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's got the best cue ball in the game, best has ever been. Everything's a bit hard work at the moment.
12. $13.
Again, that cue ball's just travelled literally a couple of millimetres too far. And he's got more angle in this red. Okay, he should still pot it, no problem, but more angle than he wanted.
20.
And does he risk brushing off the other red and playing for the black here? He thought about it. He went up the cue ball
21.
and then decided against it, went low to avoid the red. So this is a shot that could determine the frame.
In many respects, that shot symptomatic of his day so far. Really unlucky. I called him a genius earlier. How about Maverick?
Yeah, I suppose he thought that was a big pocket with the other red there. It was such a careless safety shot from Gary Wilson. Whether it was a sort of half-hearted attempt at the double, but to leave that red over the right middle. But even then, he must have thought, well, I might get back to the table. It's not the best
33.
table to make a one-visit clearance, but look at it now. It's the genius of O'Sullivan to turn in an awkward table into a winning one in the blink of an eye.
40. 42.
At the vast majority of tournaments, this, if it's successful, could be a candidate for clearance of the week. It won't beat Mark Williams's first-round effort to deny Tom Ford in the decider, but it's a wonderful effort nevertheless.
So, 45. $49. 54.
It's been another incident-packed frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 54 on the frame.
But when push came to shove, O'Sullivan delivered. What a big frame coming up next. Ronnie O'Sullivan regaining the lead at 6-5. If he can push on to 7-5, then you start to think, well, Gary Wilson's so far stubborn resilience start to be a little diluted.
Thank you. Frame 12. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Totally botched break-off from O'Sullivan. If he gets away with this, he's been really fortunate.
Eyeing this red up to far left corner. Pretty clever with the cue ball. Okay, he's left Gary this red to left middle, but this is far from easy. May even have it nicely snookered by the jaw of the middle pocket for the red to right corner. Yeah, I agree. This is a big frame for Gary Wilson, because I think going into the interval 2 frames behind, I think Ronnie probably pulls away. So a very important visit to the table, this for Gary Wilson. Show Ronnie that he's still there. He's not wilting.
5. Six. $11.
Sullivan knows from past experience that Wilson can be spirited. And they met in the first round of the World Championship in 2017. It was a really good contest. Wilson made a couple of centuries and only ended up beaten 10-7.
19.
And of course, as we mentioned this afternoon, Wilson did beat O'Sullivan 4-3 on the way to winning the Scottish Open for the first time in 2022. held himself together with a 73 break in the decider.
$20.
I thought he might have been a bit more aggressive there, because you see where the cue balls ended up in the middle of the pack. If he'd played that with pace, top spin, he could have gone into the bunch there, brought more into play. Kind of a bit of a nothing shot, especially if you look now where the black's gone. How would you get in a colour from here?
27.
Oh, that's a brilliant shot.
28.
From where he was, he's done so well to get the cue ball even to there, without fouling the red.
$33. Cheers. 34.
A beautiful angle in the blue to go into the top red of the bunch, bring them into play. No, still picking off the loose reds. I'm not sure if the red that's touching the black is available to left corner.
39.
Is. He'll probably play for that one.
$40.
And that shot tells me it does go. And there's a red, the three reds at the bottom of the pack. The right hand side red I think is available, possibly to right middle. But this is good stuff from Gary Wilson. As I say, just showing Ronnie he's still there. He's not weakening at all. Composure looks good. Focus looks good.
Okay. 46. $47.
That's end of break, I think, after this black. I'm not sure it's got any angle at all to bring reds into play. Dead straight, you can see it there. Played for the double. Top red, right middle.
54. Gary Wilson, 54.
When you've got to propel the red quite a distance into the cushion to play a double like that, they are so difficult to judge. And it was always wide. Useful lead, though.
Fabulous pot. But similar to Gary previously, no angle in the black, well, just the slightest angle. Has he just brought that red into play to the left middle pocket? These two reds have just been incredible. that view, it looks like the red flies in. But when you're behind the red looking into the pocket, sometimes the view's completely different. I think he's playing the split. It's okay. Got one to the far right corner. Okay, not easy and
16.
Slightly bridging over the black. But if this goes in, he goes favourite to win the frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 16.
So close. So close.
Yeah, it's a problem with those shots. The thin angle. You get so close, but they don't go in. The red just stays there. Those
One.
now 37 points behind. Ronnie is favourite now to win this frame. And as we've already mentioned, big frame.
He cleared up with 54 to snatch frame 11 when the balls were configured very awkwardly.
4.
Here, they're pretty much perfect.
$11. 12. 19. 20.
You just get a sense. The red that Ronnie potted a few minutes ago up to the green pocket. You just get a sense that he can sense that this is a big moment in this match. Why he took the red
25.
on. You can almost see his
26.
focus and increase. That's what makes him the winning machine that he is.
$30. 32.
We say quite a lot of this game's about fractions.
35.
Gary Wilson doesn't finish straight in the black. He can maybe open the reds up. He maybe wins the frame. He doesn't. He finishes straight. End of break. And
39.
he's lost the frame.
Blue and pink needed.
$44. 50.
Hear the roar.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 57
Another
and a frame.
clearance to relish. Just like his shirt. Mustard. 7-5, O'Sullivan.
Would you please welcome back to the table your referee, Paul Collier, and your semi-finalists, Gary Wilson and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's been a very exciting and indeed eventful match this. But Gary Wilson is back 2 frames behind.
Thank you. Frame 13. Gary Wilson.
As he was, of course, when he trailed 4-2. So this is the final mini session, no more intervals, first to 10 to reach the final of the Tour Championship. Wilson has competed superbly in this match, but just the odd frame tonight has gone the other way. It's made the difference.
Well, it's been a terrific match so far. It's been something of a brawl, hasn't it, with lots of shots being played. The odd incident. O'Sullivan has managed to gain a 2-frame lead. He's not anywhere over the line yet, you feel. Being almost matched, I think, by Wilson. Clearly, that last frame to take him in front could well be very big. That's opening red, not simple.
Well, Sullivan with a plaster on his thumb. Not sure what's happened there.
Eight.
Really is a big match for Wilson, isn't it? You know, he's won 3 ranking titles in recent times. He's been a World Championship semi-finalist. But in terms of, does he now go up another level from there? Winning a match like this, maybe winning a tournament like this.
$14. $15.
Yes, he doesn't hang around either. He's a pretty quick player. Can win frames
22.
almost as quickly as the man he's playing can do.
23.
Yeah, I think he has really good presence around the table. You know, he doesn't look like he's going to be intimidated by anybody.
It's definitely a good way to be at this game.
30.
He can be a little bit too agreeable sometimes out there, especially playing the man he's playing tonight. It's not really his style. Off the table, he's a good guy, but on it, he plays it tough. Makes it about himself, which is really what it is when you're out there.
31.
Got a slight angle, not too many reds available, if any. Obviously the red on the right, but you have to get behind it somehow. He'll be happy with that because he didn't quite catch the reds. That red could have finished anywhere, the one red that came out. Is it a 3-ball plant? That's what he's now eyeing up. Well, those two reds are in line, but the left-hand red of the three is not quite square up to the other two.
$37.
Oh, that is a fabulous positional shot if he's on that top red. What a shot. There was not
39.
an acre of room to land in. Beautiful shot. You've really got to trust in your control, your ability to get that cue ball wherever you want to be able to play that shot.
$40.
Now, is it 3-ball plant or a 2-ball plant? There's some reds all lined
47.
up. Yeah. If it wasn't for the left-hand red, this would be a certainty. I'm not so sure it is.
Gary Wilson, 47.
The first red was, as I said, below the other two. They were in line. But the first red was the reason that was missed. It threw it offline.
Of course, he's 54 in front in the last frame and lost it. 47 in front here.
Foul. Gary Wilson.
All happening, isn't it, in this match? All action.
Yeah, another big shot in a match full of them. 51 in front already.
One.
So the chance to pull one back. Just thinking when Gary was a teenager, the Nations Cup was played in Newcastle, and he was invited along from the snooker club, effectively as a mascot, to sort of meet the senior players. Ronnie O'Sullivan played in that. And now here we are, all these years later, 25 years later, in fact, Gary Wilson standing up to him.
6. Seven.
Almost there.
14.
Red colour. Not a 1 visit frame, but a 2 would certainly suffice at this stage.
15.
Yeah, this black effectively for 7-6. So he didn't win it in one visit, but that doesn't matter. He's come out after the interval
22.
looking really good, looking really determined to take the fight to O'Sullivan for the rest of the night.
He's got a really good control of the cue ball,
23.
even that last black to nudge the reds. He knows exactly where that ball is going. Yes, he's probably up against the greatest break builder and touch player we've got. In fact, there's ever been, but
28.
he's got a very good play. Gary Wilson,
29.
good game. And when he's good, he is exceptionally good.
$35. 36.
Yeah, and all of the excitement of the way that Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Allen. He has won 2 ranking events this season, Gary Wilson. Home nation's very
44.
tough. 1-2-8 players starting out. When he won, goes home with the win. So he's a proper player.
51. 52. 57. 59.
He's looked so comfortable in this frame.
62.
Real, as I say, determination about the way he's striding around the table.
$66.
These two putting on a real show for this capacity crowd.
$71.
And it's about to get even more dramatic. Still potential 6 frames left.
$77.
So 2 visits, 47.
Gary Wilson, 84 on the frame.
84 clearance from Gary Wilson, exactly what he needed when they resumed after the interval. The O'Sullivan advantage is reduced to 7-6. Chester Central buzzing here with this terrific semi-final. The first semi-final, of course, tomorrow here at the Tour Championship. Sonia
Thank you,
Marks
frame
with
14.
Allen and Williams.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan 7-6. Wilson has dominated frame 13. 84 the second break. He was already 47 in front. They're both really going for it as well, aren't they? You know, they're taking on their shots, trying to make things happen.
Oh, it's a proper tear-up, isn't it, these two? And O'Sullivan usually is the player who wins these sort of matches when they go this way. Just hit the wrong side of that one. Needs a bit of help here. You don't know where anything's going to finish. It's not a simple red, this. You know, it looks easy, but the way he's cueing it from the cushion, cue ball coming down towards the bulk colours, it's not an absolute gimme to start. Nicely played. Obviously the black is always what O'Sullivan is eyeing up from the start of any break. See if he can get it into play. At the moment it is a little awkward, but it's not impossible he could free it. Red at the bottom, or the top of the bunch, is also on there, you can see.
3.
So it's an early in a frame, but it's still got to be worked upon. Balls are not exactly perfect.
4. $9. 10. $15. $16. $22.
Yes, he's just looking at if the black was potable to the left corner from quite low on the right side. Because he's got to think about what happens with the red that follows this blue. So he was thinking about 3 shots ahead there, whether he comes up with that for the shot. He's got to make a plan on going. Don't know if he can play the shot he was looking at to get on that black. Well, it's a bit close quarters
28.
down there.
$29.
Yeah. He played on it, but I'm not sure he is on it. No way. That is not possible. What an attempt. He tried to free the 3 reds or do something with those, although he's on that one to middle.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 35.
Well, the worst shot, worse than missing, was the red coming back and disturbing the 3 reds and the black. The movement that went along with it.
Over to Gary Wilson then. To try and hit back in this frame.
One.
At the moment, it feels like having a sort of boxing match on the edge of a cliff. Every shot of every visit seems big.
Okay.
Certainly neither player going into their shell. Both going for it.
9.
Yeah, that was also a good red to play on, wasn't it? The one that was blocking off the black. Sullivan, I think he's more than a little bit concerned. But one thing he will be noting is that his opponent is not intimidated by him.
16. 17.
Now, the chance to go into the 5 reds with the red out in open play, always there as your backup. A lovely player, he really is, and he's in absolutely terrific form.
24. 25.
Yeah, I mentioned obviously from the northeast there was a guy there, Stan Chambers, who did coaching clinics and ran junior tournaments, just gave youngsters the opportunity to play snooker, to learn about snooker. Such an important figure, I know, in Gary's life. Sadly, Stan passed away a couple of years ago, but he always mentions him. The 3 ranking events he's won, he's always mentioned Stan Chambers in his victory speech.
$33.
At great pace as well, isn't he? He's not sort of hesitantly walking into the shot, worried about missing.
A little bit nervy on that
39.
last shot, though, wasn't he? Wasn't certain it was going to go in off the top jaw, and he ever so slightly overrun.
I feel that the tension is beginning to mount in this break. He's coped well with scoring what he has, but this is the point where the frame can be won. Got to keep going. $47. 48.
Now, is he going to play into the pink here and just play the cannon and free the red below it? Beautiful, beautiful little cannon, delightful.
55. $56.
Yeah, Sullivan took on that red to right middle. It came back, it disturbed other reds. Left one on for Wilson. And now what a chance. He's not got much more to do. 2 more pots, in fact, to level the match. Just let that one run a little bit as well, didn't he?
Yes,
63.
the last shot really, isn't it? Over this ball. Yeah, no problem. And he wouldn't have deserved to if you like, fallen at the last hurdle there. It's been a lovely break.
Well, this is like a duel, isn't it? Who's going to blink first?
69.
Yeah, Sullivan looking on. Of course, the red he missed a middle. The cue ball, the red came back into the 3 reds, which were tying up the black, and they were no longer tied up, basically. But he's taken them so well.
74.
Yeah, Gary Wilson was something of a late bloomer in terms of reaching top of the game, but now he's well and truly come of age as a bona fide top player, proving it here
83.
today, refusing to be intimidated by his opponent, by the occasion, in fact relishing it. Made 84 in the last frame.
89.
This black for a clearance of 96. Another fabulous
Gary
break
Wilson, 96
by Gary
on the
Wilson.
break.
What a match we're watching here in Manchester this evening. And we're all square once again, 7 each. Welcome back, 7 each. Gary Wilson in 22 minutes has won the 2 post-interval frames.
Thank you, frame
First to
15.
10 to get
Gary
to
Wilson
the Tour
to break.
Championship final. He's not just won the frames, he's won them handsomely. Breaks of 84, 96.
Sullivan, having looked at the shot, as I think he just decided that Wilson's safety shot was a good shot. Under his breath, I think that's what he said. It's not left him an easy way back there to where he is now with that cue ball.
very rare you see O'Sullivan play a sort of a nothing shot like that, but he didn't really have anywhere else to go. So maybe another plan for O'Sullivan. He's tried the mixing it with Gary Wilson, but he stood up to all that. Will O'Sullivan then try and tie him down now? Will that be the new way of approaching this match for him? He seems to have many ways he can win, O'Sullivan. But Gary Wilson is giving him plenty to think about.
Foul.
Well, that cue ball right in the jaws. I can't think
Gary
that
Wilson 7.
it's going to be anything but O'Sullivan from playing from back there. It's invited him to play from in there. I suppose it's an invitation. He's got no choice but to accept, really. Not angled, but still no joy playing in there.
Well, it's a really good safety from O'Sullivan, and Wilson's caught that a bit thick and sat down looking a bit concerned. Arms folded. Terrific shot. Good striking. If anything, he played on the blue and he got back too far, I think, with that cue ball. But as was the previous frame, it's going to take some creating to make this into a sizable break with the high value colours not there.
Four.
Now, is he going to go into them, or is he just trying to pick the reds off with blue and colours? Taking that red brings the black into play to the left corner after this red is gone.
Ten. 15. 16.
The cue ball took a flyer, I think, off the bunch of reds there. Absolutely zipped back. Not in complete control for once. Now, is he straight enough?
21.
Play his left-handed and hold for the black.
$22.
And there's your answer. He's just not quite getting the right angle on the blues to the next reds in this break, but he's still going.
$27. 28. $35.
I think what he'd like to do here is get an angle on the black, just to move the two reds directly above it, which are both not possible where they stand.
36.
Didn't quite have the angle to play that.
43. $44.
Now he's slightly limited what he can do here because he can get to the left side. There might be one red potable to right corner, the one he's looking at, but nothing else will go. Unless, of course, he's sort of a plant, which I'm not sure there is. No, I think he's not gone far enough. The
49.
last positional shot, red to blue, was the problem. He was really limited in what he could achieve from it. He knows that the last frame he got a decent lead and Wilson mopped up.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 49.
Yeah, just overdid the white, didn't he, for the blue initially. So 49, but as you say, we've seen all sorts of clearances from both sides in this match.
Well, yeah, it doesn't feel like a very big lead in a frame which has been played at a furious pace with mostly the balls in open play.
Yeah, I mean, there we are. They're the average shot times. O'Sullivan 18 seconds, Wilson 20. When they've been in and scoring, they've just been on the front foot completely, not showing any hesitation. But of course, the safety equally is important.
Rather a strange shot to play. He may have felt that just playing up the table wasn't all that easy, but I'm not too sure what he played there. Is there an edge sticking out? Paul Collier was down the line himself because he might have to replace the balls. No, the green's covering by the looks of things. Unless he plays it with side or whatever. Plain ball, I don't think he can get to a red directly. Yeah, just a bit of left-hand side. You can bend it around the green. But even then, it's going to be check side, so it'd be very difficult if you did play that shot to get the cue ball anywhere down the other end with left-hand side on the ball. If you had a shot to lay up to the two reds just above the arrow next to his name, those two reds, it would be handy. It's a really difficult shot to get that cue ball back. Yeah, he hasn't achieved it. He was in trouble there. O'Sullivan's shot was not to be underestimated, actually, from that previous safety to get behind the green in the first place.
Of course, he had that monster kick earlier tonight, taking no chances, having the cue ball cleaned. 42 to the good, with his chance to retake the lead.
One. Six. Seven.
So 54, the lead.
12.
2 more pots to get to the snooker's required stage.
13.
Just wrestling the initiative back from Gary Wilson, who put together 2 great frames.
20. 21. $28. Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Well, the
28
snooker
on
down
the
the
frame.
green in the end made a big difference. Gary Wilson left the chance. Ronnie O'Sullivan has done enough. So he is back in front here at 8-7. What's left to play? Ronnie O'Sullivan needs 2. Gary Wilson needs 3. 8-7
Thank
it
you,
is
the
to
16th
the second
frame.
times world champion.
Ronnie
Of course, he won
O'Sullivan
the
to break.
first staging of the Tour Championship in 2019. In fact, he won a thrilling semi-final that year against Judd Trump. 10-9 on the black. Great clearance he made to pinch it.
Played it well. Has he got cover on the red? Might be able to play it with a trace of left-hand side and take it round the green and pot the red. Oh dear. That was the one thing he couldn't really control when he was using that side. To play it at a certain pace to make the shot happen. And this part of it, he didn't really have a lot of say in. They have tried to kiss the left-hand red of the bunch and be on the pink.
Black ball.
Nominated black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan won.
So often you'd see a player nominate something down the other end of the table there. Bolt colour or something to get away, but in hitting the black, he's completely nullified any chance of Wilson getting a shot.
Well, a good shot this is. Luckily, not quite getting the cover, but he played it ever so well. You can see his intentions. He kind of hoped to get the cue ball to a safe space, but the problem is the red followed it. Bit of a loose one there from Gary Wilson for once on that red. When he plays shots with quite a lot of power, the cue does come through very quickly at times. The one time he doesn't seem in the same control with his shots.
5. Yeah, sure. Six.
Once again, attacking
13.
the key red, which was the red on the black spot. Now, very quickly, it's become a very serious chance. And that is the magic of O'Sullivan early on in a break, locating
20.
a ball he has to remove or an area he wants to land in.
21. $28. 29.
Yeah, still sitting with those arms crossed. But also, I suspect his fingers crossed, because we've seen a few frames where either player's got in front and then a chance comes, and you have to be ready, of course, to take it.
Not seen O'Sullivan have the cue ball clean quite as much. Not bad, but not exactly A1 positionally.
36. $37.
Quite a nice little shot there, because the yellow would have been there had the cue ball strayed onto the cushion. And this looks a bit of a stretch, doesn't it? Goodness me. Black must be easier than that yellow balancing on the table.
I think sometimes players feel when bulk colours sort of end up in those sort of spots, they just shouldn't be there. But as you say, black was the ball.
44. 45.
It's a good shot at making a pretty wide angle out of a just off straight
52.
shot.
$53.
And what's the next red from here is the question. It takes some thought. Can you get into the 4 reds from the blue with left-hand running side, or is it playing on a single red? All options look something of a challenge. He's finished right in between left corner
58.
and right corner where the cue ball's landed.
Oh, you heard the applause. What a wonderful shot. Black to lead by 67 with 67 on. And he's on this red to the middle, which is for 9-7. Another wonderful break, this.
66.
Because we've seen it so often, the danger is you sort of take it for granted a bit, but when you really watch, just see how incredible he is.
$74. 75.
So Wilson put together 2 brilliant frames after the interval, but has been largely shut out since.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson has completely stood up to O'Sullivan tonight and asked him the question.
82.
And at the moment, O'Sullivan is answering those questions. It's terrific stuff.
83.
He's had a brilliant season, O'Sullivan. But he's played as well tonight as he has on most of those times when he's lifted titles.
Yeah, I think
90.
what's marked the season is that when he's needed to come good, he has done. And it's happened again here, hasn't it?
91.
He's been put under a little bit of pressure by Wilson, but Gary Wilson, in the last 2 frames, has not potted a ball. Hello. Can I clip this red in and go on make the century? They're shouting, get in. They're shouting, get in. It's not to be.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
97
97.
from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Wonderful break that. And he's on the brink of a place in the Tour Championship final. He leads Gary Wilson in this thrilling match, 9-7. Snooker legend Tony Knowles, one of the best known faces of snooker from the boom period of the 1980s, thoroughly enjoying this, I'm sure.
Please.
As everybody is here in Manchester, but for Gary Wilson to enjoy
frame
the
17
final on Sunday, he's going to have to
Gary
win the last
Wilson
3.
to break.
He's 9-7 down. Once again, O'Sullivan has made a move.
Wants that cue ball to slow down. It just about has. It seems like most parts of his game are fully operational tonight. The long game's not bad. The mid-range sort of cueing shots, the breakbeard, and well, that's never going to disappear, I don't think. And the sort of inventiveness of some of the shots he plays. Worth saying that he did actually play a very important safety shot frame before last in behind the green, which
brought about that frame being won.
5.
So, as I say, all boxes being ticked.
Six. Ten.
So this is his first chance to get it won, and then it'll be up to either Mark Allen or Mark Williams to deny him on Sunday, because they're here all day tomorrow.
Yes, I think he can run this through and be on the black to the opposite corner without hitting the two reds, which are next to the black. You'd like to avoid those.
It's okay, Ronnie. 17.
So avoid the reds there, but you'll be moving them
18.
on this shot. Made it look simple, that cannon. He's an artist, isn't he, when he's in amongst them?
25. 26. $33.
Well, could be better on a red, I guess. Got things opened up, so this is another key shot to keep things going. No problem.
34. $37. 38. 45. 46.
I don't think Gary Wilson's done a great deal wrong from 7-all, you know. I think it's more about what Ronnie O'Sullivan has done right. Is he on that red by the pink? Crucially.
53.
I think he is. And if this goes in, probably curtains.
54.
Yeah, what a dash for the line this has been. After Wilson so impressively fought back to 7 each from 7-5 down at the interval. You've barely seen him since then.
60.
Well, he
61.
rattled O'Sullivan's cage and was very good in doing so. And he does get beaten. You go to Sheffield as a seeded player with a chance of going well. But he's just run into the irresistible force of O'Sullivan.
67.
Who's responded to a terrific crowd, a great venue. And I wonder...
68.
It's been a terrific match, though, isn't it?
It really has. It really has. But here's the difference between Ronnie O'Sullivan and every other player.
75.
He's not chasing greatness. He is greatness. They're all chasing him
76.
still after all these years. First ranking title, the 93 UK Championship. His second was April the 7th, 1994, the British Open. And on Sunday, 30 years to the day, he'll be looking to win his 42nd.
81.
A career
82.
without limits and seemingly without end.
$88. 89. 96.
What a finish.
97.
In true O'Sullivan style. He's won it with a century. His third of the day, and what a day it's been. Gary Wilson has played his part
102.
in a wonderful match, but from 7 each. He barely had a look in.
104.
It's going to be a 64th ranking final for Ronnie O'Sullivan on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, there were one or two incidents in the matches, earlier frames, but I don't think it's got anything to do with this result. Gary Wilson, I think, has accepted it all in good grace. He's been beaten by the better player, so none of that matters.
111.
What matters is what we've watched. It's been a fantastic game of snooker, this. It's why we love the game for nights like this.
116.
So this incredible season continues for Ronnie O'Sullivan as he targets a 6th title.
122.
It's up to either Mark Allen or Mark Williams to stop him now. Gary Wilson did his best. But what a finish. Crowd on their feet here in Manchester. 129 clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He marches into the Tour Championship final in fine style. He's won a terrific match here by 10 frames to 7.